A great weekend. I hope you were safe and are still safe wherever you are. We talked about drinking and driving, drinking responsibly and not drinking and driving. So karibuni sana to this beautiful show, The Tackle. But today we do what is known as Common Sense Edition. So get on our socials, that is YouTube and Facebook. New Day TV. Let us have a conversation. Like, share, comment, subscribe, nini. But before we go mbali sana, our guest today is the king of comebacks. He's the king of tackles. Ramekuja the tackle. Our guest today hatakangi ujinga, both in business and in life. So he's a captain of industry. I would like to say that. Because in our generation, we pride ourselves in the young people who are doing something with their lives. So without further ado, welcome Mr. KHALIF KAIRO.
Wow, asante sana.
And guys, he's very humble, by the way. Very, very humble. Contrary to maybe what you people would want to believe. Kai,
yes.
How have you been?
No, I've been good. I thank God for life.
Homa tu ndo inakumaliza lakini usijali.
Hii ni kidogo. Dengia hapo Java nikunywe dawa.
Ala. How was your weekend? Oh, hey, Steve.
Iko sawa. See, I hadn't locked it.
Oh, so.
Mimi ndio sikuwa nimelock.
Utaangusha mgeni watu, nitaambia watu nini. I will be finished. How was your weekend?
The weekend was awesome. And mejibamba. Yeah.
All right. So, Kai, what do you do to relax?
I ride my motorbike. Or I go flying.
Those are called expensive hobbies. Sisi wengine wetu, unakaa tu kwa nyumba yako, unaweka muziki ya Koffi Olomide, una dance na unasahau mashida zako. Yours are very expensive hobbies. So who is Kairo?
Kairo is the founder and CEO of two companies. And it's called JETMAN Global. It's a very new company. We're mostly into aircraft sales, aircraft management.
So the aviation industry. The
aviation aspect, yeah. And then there's KARO, which was founded in September of 2022.
That recently?
Yeah.
With everything you've done?
Yes, that's many mungu. But
magic. In fact, I was going there.
But it's a long journey because I've been in car sales for 9 years.
Yes, I know about your former business.
Yeah.
Was it imports by KARO?
Yeah, that was imports.
What happened?
Because of a Cottage, I can't really speak much, but just to keep it very simple, we started off as partners, and just along the way, we fell off.
Which happens.
Yeah.
So what are you doing differently this time? To ensure that you've secured this and nobody can take away that?
Differently, I move on my own. Mimi tu na Mungu.
One man army, full combat.
One man army.
Full combat.
I don't trust anybody.
Anyway, which is still okay, as long as you can do what you need to do, right?
Precisely, yeah.
So, did you ever see yourself... First of all, what was your background, Kairo?
I grew up in Kawangware, in a place called Amboseli. But to Kamitha with my mom.
Yo ni Kawangware ama ni Lavington?
No, Kamitha is yo ni Kawangware. Ni Kawangware ya mwisho. The last frontier wingie Lavington.
Kwa sababu watu wanaishi hapo Amboseli wanasemanga wako Lavington. So
well, but for me it wasn't Lavington because
you were on the other side.
Yeah, 2-room Mabati house. My mom used to have a shop.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the building is still there. And I grew up there. Kutoka 96 when I was born to nilitoka Amboseli lini. I think I moved out of Amboseli in 2017.
Wow. So not so long ago.
Not so long ago, yeah. Nilikaa hapo like 21 years.
Okay.
So I grew up my entire life nimeshuko. And background yangu ya biashara, I think I had credit my mom because of that small shop. So I learned.
That was your first point of contact with business.
Yes. From an early age, I was literally born into business. Because even I tell people my first photos zile, just zile picha za mtoto akiwa mdogo
na kwa shop ya madhe,
kwa bel za unga,
dunia ya sky,
mikate. So
no, but you see, it has inspired you to become who you are, and also to appreciate the journey, because you saw mom grow from that.
Yes.
And you knew that no matter what, I will be maybe to her point or even bigger. So definitely you looked at bigger.
Yes.
But did you see yourself ever achieving the kind of success that you have?
No. To be very honest, it's wild, and I think I just credit it to God because I wouldn't say it's my own abilities, honestly.
Okay.
I mean, it's crazy when I think about it. Yes, there are times I just sit back and look. You look at the company, you look at what you guys are doing,
achieved.
Look at the traffic to the website, and you're like, wow, okay. I can never take credit for this. Yeah, this is not my doing.
Tell me more about your spiritual journey.
Yeah.
So, is it Is it spirituality?
Sorry, yeah.
Is it religion? No, you are allowed. We are all suffering with this calling. Is it spirituality versus religion? So what do you believe in? What is your belief system?
My belief system is, first of all, I believe there's a God.
Okay.
There's a God in heaven. That's belief number one. I don't subscribe. I'm a Christian, but I don't subscribe, to religion. People get lost in religion.
That's why I asked religion versus spirituality.
Spirituality, for me, I call it godliness.
Okay.
So trying to live with the ideals of God.
Okay.
Because God by nature is perfect. God by nature is He advocates for us to do the right things. So because on the other side, religion tries to tell you, don't eat this, don't do this. But I believe according to me, that you need to foster a personal relationship with God. You need to understand what does God want for your life. I do go to church every Sunday, fellowship and everything. But the most important thing is your personal relationship with God. The reason I say this is because there's so many people who go to church but are very bad people, do bad things.
It's true.
Yeah. So, but once you create that one-on-one rapport with God, I think that's the most important thing. And that's what keeps me going, because I understand that there's a very big mission that God has given me to. I still don't understand what the bigger picture is, but I know, look, there are a couple of things that I'm supposed to do. If it's the businesses, if it's the jobs, I know that this is now a higher calling. It's not just about waking up and going to make money. No, you have to look at it from the perspective that you need to help people, you need to mentor people, you need to inspire. And that's the bigger calling.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like you have talked about two things that I really wanted us to have a conversation on: mentoring and giving back.
Yes.
So, as a boss, what kind of a boss are you? Na sasa usipige drama hapa kwa sababu I know your people are watching. Watakuja kutuambia ukweli. What kind of a boss are you? Because we have been in work environments where there's a lot of micromanagement, and that creates a lot of distrust.
Yes.
Because I feel like when you delegate, you empower, you mentor, and you create trust. Yeah. So what is your style? What is your approach? What do you prefer to do? And what have you seen work and achieved you success and the kind of success that you have?
I hate micromanaging. If you want to stall a company's growth, micromanage it. I'm never in the country most times.
Yes.
Like I'll do 2 weeks. Every month I'm traveling.
I know, because we were supposed to have this interview 4 weeks ago.
4 weeks ago, yeah. But I was away. You see, the companies were running. So I try to. What I've done is I've just put in place systems. I believe in systems. Create systems, create standards.
So technology also, use of technology.
Yes.
Okay.
Technology, but also systems. How do people report? How do you solve problems? How do you identify problems? All those are systems. You get. So I prefer management style that is very laid back. Let people make mistakes because they are going to make mistakes. But then from those mistakes, teach them.
Not fire them.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, for me, I before I actually fire you, I mean, you really have to.
It takes a lot.
It takes a lot. Unless now you really like working to destroy the company from within. Yeah. But now if you're just making an innocent mistake, say a customer comes, you quote the wrong price, we lose the deal, or we do a deal and we lose money as a company. I've had staff who've taken me to losses of even $500,000 on one transaction.
Where?
And you don't fire them, you just sit them down and tell them, look, we lost $500,000 in this deal. I'm not going to fire, but look, I want you to learn. And I knew you were going to lose that money in that deal. But I decided, look, let me just sit back and see. Maybe he could be right. I also don't want to micromanage. That's how you actually run. And you teach people to be more responsible. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, I was going to say something, but I want to remain alive. So in the hiring process, what do you look out for? Because there's what we know as the norm. Degrees, which degree, how many years experience? They ask for some ridiculous number of years. Yeah. You're there as a 20-year-old and wondering, okay, so where do you think I have gotten this experience from? 2, if I don't have it, it means I will always be locked out because I don't have the experience. Yeah. Because I'm not being given the chance. Hey, our guest. No, you don't need to apologize. I fully understand. So what do you look out for in the hiring process?
Skills. I honestly don't care about educational credentials, to be very honest.
You are the first boss who is saying this. Kai, what do you mean?
Unless it's... now maybe on the side of JETMAN, we do look. Because our JETMAN now is more of aviation. Okay. Some of the staff we have will always ask, look, you need to have a dispatcher's license. Maybe
so that you understand the business.
Yes. Maybe when we start actively flying, we will need to have people with X amount of hours or maybe a license. But even over and above that, what I believe this defines a person is their skill set, and I'll explain why. The Kenyan system, the way from what I've learned, people go to campus, will do courses that they don't like, and then these people are coming.
Kairo, shots fired, but I'm not going to say where.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like, look, so you don't like this course, and I've actually mentioned this a couple of times. You go to campus, you do 4 years of a course you don't like.
Yes.
You know you'll never become a master in that thing.
It's 4 years wasted.
Yeah, utakuanga saa ulienda shule. So that's how you find you'll go to school cheat.
Because you're doing it like to just pass the exam.
Yes.
Okay.
And even because I'm in Fly Hotel guys, like I've never personally cheated on any test.
Hey.
I don't cheat because I find it because I normally tell myself, no, listen, I say this. If I cheat on a test, especially theory exams, and I say I'm not going to read, but I'm going to cheat on this test. And one day I'm doing my flying, something bad happens. Now, how do I save my life if I didn't do the...
Not even just your life. You see, I think cheating... I don't encourage it, guys.
Yes.
Don't get the wrong idea here.
Yeah.
But there are professions where you cannot afford to cheat. One of them is aviation.
Yes.
Medicine.
Yeah.
Unaelewa? Law, we have seen people have asked the situation.
No, but even law, come to think about it. You cheat in that law exam.
Yeah.
You get admitted to the bar. You get a
Then
case.
what?
Somebody gets jailed. Mtu alikuwa afaa kupata 5 years and a limo 20 because of your blunders. Understand? So unapata there's so many guys ending up in the job market with very nice degrees but can't work. And I'm telling you from experience.
No, and we want you to tell us from experience because you have, as a boss, you are experiencing it firsthand.
Yeah.
And not just a boss, but a young boss.
Yes.
I know the dynamics are very different.
Yeah.
Because your experience, might have been from a younger age, but your experience in running companies and ensuring that business is done is not very long.
Yeah.
So what are the challenges?
No, I think we have a wrong culture. You see, higher education by its own right is a very good thing. That's why I'm in school. But where we get it wrong as a society is we worship papers.
Vis-a-vis skill.
Yeah, I'm a degree holder. I graduated with a degree in law. Good. But can you actually do, if you were to get a job as a legal personnel in a company, can you actually do that? Can you use those skills you learned in school to create an income for yourself? Okay. Because there are no jobs.
So what can you do for yourself to ensure that it doesn't go to waste?
Yes.
Because success
push come to shove. Can you be able to use? Because that's why you find we have an entire generation of people who are depressed. Why? Because the system fed them lies. The system told them. May remember in high school, we always had talks every other single time. Get an A, life will be perfect. And you'd see professionals coming to schools to motivate us. The motivation always was get an A. Life in campus is heaven. That's what we were sold to as high school students. And I'm not told, me and my high school 2014. Maybe if you're watching this and you can relate, you were told, finish, get an A, go to college, pass with distinction, life will always be rosy. But you see, unfortunately, in some countries that could be the case, especially in the West, where commerce, nikitu government support, there's a lot of money opportunities, and companies always needed more professionals. But in Kenya, it's not the case.
No.
Kenya kuna issue jobs. So you have an entire generation of guys with excellent paperwork, but hawapati majob. So unapata mtu, if somebody else would have told them that, look, don't aim for the degree only, or don't aim for the A only, but figure out what your passion is and pursue that passion to the end. If you think you're a DJ, learn how to make beats. If you think you can be a very good lawyer, don't just rely on what this coursework tells you. Find
what
ways
more
where,
can you do?
Find out more what you can do. I see this with doctors. The most successful doctors, si ule doctor anaingianga job even 8 to 5. And I've said this on Twitter before. It's the guy who puts the extra effort.
Over and above.
Si kila mtu anaingia 8 to 5. There's that guy who'll go extra, hata jaribu kula new procedures, kukiwa na ka conference juu ka specialist wapi. He's always willing to learn. Those are the people who become very successful. But you see a lot of guys who we just do the standard coursework and then believe that life owes them.
Very entitled.
Yeah, like, but bro, mimi niko na distinction.
Sisi wote tuko nayo, so
yeah, me I can't do that. So you get, but ule mtu anakujanga na attitude ya, and that's why hata ukiangalia how we normally hire, I always say like I prefer guys who have zero experience, especially for these jobs, marketing, sales. I don't like guys with this. I like guys with zero experience. And you can teach them. And now lastly is that the system is also changing. What you needed to pay 1 million to go study in a university, I kid you not, you can learn on YouTube very many things.
Wow.
You know YouTube is the most free, it's called what? I'd say YouTube is the most free campus in the world, because you can learn so many things. May I lose my own example? I go to flight school, but for me to stay very current with how things are changing in aviation, trust me, I watch
emerging
a lot of
issues and
yes,
stuff like
I watch a lot of YouTube. Hata kuna times you're reading for an exam, you're like, mwalimu alifunza kitu aje? Then you go to YouTube, you find an Indian guy, and he breaks down the whole concept for you. So you ask yourself, what if I decided I want to code? You can learn all these things on YouTube.
Yes.
And universities are realizing this, because you'll notice even most campuses are now offering
online
distance
courses.
learning, online courses. So when you think about the bigger picture, is that, unlike 30 years ago, when we had to go to big libraries to study, now information is at your fingertips. Okay. So any kikuliza capital city ya Serbia, you probably wouldn't know, but if you searched what is the capital city, you will get it immediately. Yeah. Now repeat 20 years ago, if you want to know the capital city of Serbia,
niende utafute kile
Atlas, ama ile encyclopedia, S for Serbia, S for sex, that one, inawana zote.
You just had to. But I like how you have touched on issues that I wanted us to talk about.
Yeah.
You have touched on the issue of the education system and the way it's set up. And on this show, I tell people we aim to educate and be educated. So today, Kairo, we gonna learn. Leo unatufunza.
No problem.
Because the way the Kenyan education system is almost, it has set us for being very competitive.
Yes.
Which breeds a lot of jealousy.
Yes.
It has also set us up for failure.
Yes.
And no matter what the government tries to do in job creation, it is not working. Especially in the, when you are growing up, you'd be told, Soma because you're supposed to get above a certain mark.
Yes.
What did that guarantee you? That guaranteed you going to a good high school.
Yes.
Going to a good high school guaranteed you that you will have marks for university entry.
Yes.
And for as long as you make that cut, the guarantee was supposed to be that you're set for life.
Yes.
Now, there was the emergence, and that's why there's this loose saying where people say A students work for C students.
Yes.
So the C students who did not make the cut realized that here, I have to hustle to make it.
Yeah.
I don't have a choice.
Yes.
You understand?
Yeah.
And so that is why most of those guys would be now in business, in what. Now, the government is here busy trying to sell, for example, TVET colleges.
Yeah.
But it cannot. Why? We grew up knowing a mason, masonry si kazi ya mtu kufanya. Plumbing si kazi ya mtu kufanya.
Actually, Jana on Twitter, one of my last tweets, Jana, was in regard to something like that.
Now, you have traveled a lot.
Yeah.
When you go to Europe and Asia, among the best paid are those skills.
Actually, it's the plumbers.
Yes, it's the masons.
In the US, it's them Django guys. And I kid you not, you drive through the US, you'll always see them driving very big pickups. Mtu amebeba
zile ma GMC zile.
Bas, unajua zile kubwa.
Yeah.
CG 5000 cc, 6000, very huge engines. And honestly, I admire those guys.
Because and then when we grew up, you knew unaambiwa soma ukue daktari, ukue pilot. Naona ni kama ulisikia uliambiwa soma ukue pilot, ukue lawyer,
Yeah.
No matter what the government is trying to do now, it is going to be hard to sell TVET. It is going to be hard to sell agriculture.
Yes.
Because we looked down upon a farmer. Farmer hakuwa ni mtu mwenye akona kakitu.
Yes.
Sasa sasa niambie mtu alipata A, unajaribu kumwambia ati agribusiness sijui what. They are not comprehending. Why? It's because what was inculcated in us.
Yes. Yeah.
So we need to change that system. And I want to come back to you. When I see Kairo, or most people when they see Kairo the success story. They see Kairo the young businessman, the cool guy, the king of tackles and comebacks. But they forget that there's a whole process and journey to becoming or how you became who you are. And Kairo, I feel like we owe it. I know that we owe it to the next generation to ensure that we inspire right. When we see Vimal Shah, when you see Manu Chandaria, when you see the late Chris Kirubi, we see the success story.
Yes.
We don't see the grit. What are you doing to ensure that, as much as people are seeing the finished product, but they also understand that there's a whole process behind who you are?
So I think for me, because with the social media, my life is mostly online. And I tell people that, look, the reason I try to post a lot of things online, I document most of the things I do, is to serve as a lesson. Because I remember initially, people used to say,
hiyo nayo umekuwa accused.
He's ni mtu wa wash nini ingine, sells drugs. Because the system has conditioned people that you cannot live the sort of lifestyle I live on clean money. And I always used to tell them that, look, leo hata nikasema nikuwe conman hata ndio sasa hizi ni sustain.
Why?
No, it can't, honestly.
Why?
Because I will nafanya and the vision I have. I mean, honestly, it cannot.
Okay.
Because there's so many things I'm doing. There's so much money I need. Hata nikiwa hapa I need a ton of money. And I'm not going to steal that money, to be very honest. It's either I talk to banks, I talk to investors, or I just try build my revenues. There's no shortcut to it. But now you see, because generation yetu, the role models are wrong. Now mostly role models are to politicians. And sorry to say this, a huge chunk of politicians are not straight people.
Be very careful.
Yeah, I know. But I'm just saying, not all politicians.
No, I get you.
I believe there's so many politicians who are good people.
Yeah.
I've interacted with a couple of them. But there's also a sizable majority of politicians who are not good people, who get there through very dubious means.
Yes.
And these politicians are mostly on the what want to inspire vijana. That's why you'll find like a lot of young people, after in any group of young people, hukosangi wale watu wanakaa crew. Unaona watu wa crew wakora. Na siku hizi ni wengi sana. They do all sorts of crazy things online. Most of them have political ambitions. I don't know if you've ever seen that correlation.
I have.
Horn, Jita Horn.
You know, again, this country is very interesting. We are a peculiar nation. Yeah. Most of those guys get into politics, like you said, in dubious ways, but also get into politics to either protect what they have stolen or now get there to steal.
To steal more.
It is easier to steal from there.
But now you see, now that's a bad example because in most countries around the world, the people, even in the US, for instance, the people who are very influential in the US are the businessmen.
Are the businessmen.
They're the ones buying the latest jets. They're the ones doing all the
G6 ndio zao.
G650 nini. G7. Angalia hata order za G700. You just unaona kina Bezos hapo sijui Musk. But in Kenya it's very different. In Kenya it's governors who have the latest aircraft, who are doing the, and you see now that creates a very bad environment.
Perception.
And you see the perception is to most young people that being a good person does not pay in this country. And I've gotten that a lot. You need lazima hii nchi lazima ukue mkora. But you see, I'll tell you for a fact, it's not the case. Kenya is a very good country. There's so many multinationals in Kenya doing legit business.
I like your emphasis on legit business.
Yes. Very many multinationals. I can't mention them for you.
No, I understand.
But there are so many multinationals, banks, companies that kutengeneza software, all the likes.
How is it getting investors, Kairo? What is our reputation out there?
It's very difficult.
What is our
reputation? And I'll explain why,
yeah?
None of these scandals, gold, con someone 300 million. There's also another case of fraud where we had a Kenyan company that was cooking books and sold its stake to South African investors.
What?
Yeah. So there's kumekuwa na those sort of bad stories that knows a bad press. Another problem that is affecting Kenya is our judicial system.
Why? How?
Last year I had the time I was in Cape Town last year, and I had a meeting with a friend of mine, and that time KARO was very new. And I wanted investors initially. But then as I continued to work,
you were like, I don't need it.
Scrap it. If you can lend me money, I don't mind. But at the moment, I'm not really selling the company.
Okay.
So at that particular point, I talked to this guy, and he was like, a lot of investors, if you want them to give you money, you have to incorporate the company in an offshore jurisdiction. So you can have the company running here, but the ownership of the company is maybe in the US.
British Virgin Islands.
And I asked why. And he told me because the investors feel if they have the company incorporated in another jurisdiction, they know in the event there is a problem, the legal systems huko ni poa. Utatoroka na do, utafanya nini, because they're able to put a leash on you. If we agree. But you see in the Kenyan judicial
You can
system,
get away with everything.
it can be abused.
All right.
It can be abused. I'm not going. It can be abused. And I'll say, like, even in my own case, first time I opened KARO without mentioning names, nearly going on a lawsuit. But ukiangalia, when you start going through that lawsuit, and maybe within the course of, you realize, look, there's not much in these lawsuits, but this
It
someone
doesn't
just
hold
suing,
water.
It just doesn't really hold water. But someone might be suing you, just to stall your progress.
Okay.
Stall your progress and undermine you. And you see, that's what we'd call that's an abuse. You can actually call it an abuse of the court process. Okay. Same matter, it's an abuse of the court process. A case in Kenya can take 5 years.
Yeah.
So you see, imagine an investor has given you 1 billion to do business with, and you have a dispute. Na sasa mmeanza kuvurutana. So you see, so those are some issues. The investors will come, but we are losing out a lot of investment opportunities because we haven't streamlined our systems. But the business registration, those ones are okay.
Okay.
But ikikuja hizo stories are legal. I feel much as we're on the right trajectory, still more needs to be done. And Kenya needs very tight laws on fraud. Kenya does not have tight laws on fraud. That's why people are scamming people left, right, center.
And nothing is happening to them. They're getting away with it. I mean, there are people we know tunaona tu kwa street.
Yes. Utaibia watu, uibie watu 10, you just go, maybe hata the ones that nipeleke industrial area a week or two.
You pay your way
and then
out.
You pay your bail, utoke. But let me tell you for a fact, it's very, very wrong because now all these cases you see, even foreigners getting scammed, they sell a very bad picture to Kenya. And one thing the government should do is put very stringent measures. Like places, again, I'll refer to the US because they're the dominant in terms of commerce, the US and China.
Yes.
The US, for instance, if you engage in any sort of securities fraud or shares, those stories are shares, giving wrong information to pump a stock, you can go to jail for 25 years.
Yeah.
Kenya, I don't even know if there's such legislation. Honestly, I don't know if there's such legislation. Kenya unapiga mtu hapa wash obtaining by false pretense. The system says you should be jailed for 3 years.
That's the law.
Yeah, three maybe it's 6 years, if I'm not wrong. But in the US, they go after you properly. You go to jail for 20 years.
And they will freeze your assets.
Yes.
They will literally paralyze you.
And you will still pay restitution. They will seize your assets, compensate the victims, and still maybe tell you, look, bado
hujamaliza kulipa.
Mtu kumrudishia 1 million. So you see, if we had such very strong systems, we'd see a lot of foreign money coming in. Because there is a lot of potential. And there's a lot of money around there. That's what I tell young people.
Yeah.
Don't be fooled by these people flaunting corrupt money, flaunting wash money. Travel, go to Dubai, go to the US, go to China.
See the
China,
world and see what is happening
there's
there.
Heavy money, like big time money. You see guys telling you, look, this jet is like 6 billion, 7 billion shillings. Na ziko mingi. Sio ni ati niyo moja pekee ton mzima. There are like 10 of them. You hear 10 people operate them.
Of
you
course,
hear
kama Boeing
apartment.
wanaendelea kumanufacture it with their clients.
Yes. Gulfstream, for instance, right now, if you are to order the new J700, there's like tens of clients before we've already placed an
Your
order.
waiting list.
Yeah, waiting list iko. So even smaller companies like Cessna, you try ordering, let's say, a new Caravan, and they tell you the waiting time is 3 years. So who's buying all these planes?
People, of course.
Wata kunaambia watoto wanafanya wash.
No,
it's just that we have the wrong concept. Na tuko localized. Mindset yetu ni localized. Me, the moment
we
I
need
realized,
some exposure.
Yes, the moment first time I went to Dubai was in 2019.
What is the first country you traveled to?
Dubai.
Wow.
It shocked me. Ilini humble. Like nilienda kwa kashtuka. Wow.
Umesema huku bado ni wild.
Wow, unaona tu beli unaangalia wow. Of course you see it in movies, but it doesn't.
In reality it's very different.
Nothing beats kwenda ground. Uone mtu ameachiliwa hapo na Rolls Royce yake baridi. Ama mtu anakimbia na Ferrari bana. It just changes the whole perspective.
And my favorite car, my dream car, the G-Wagon, lakini nataka ile ya Brabus. Black on black. Anyway, car, so how is the tax situation in this country given the current economic situation? And we've seen people complain a lot. There's double taxation, there's a lot of permits that businesses need. So for a young person even to just open a business, it is so the work you need to do and the amount of money you need to spend, by the time unafungua biashara hata ushasota.
Okay, my opinion on the tax issue in Kenya is a bit I'd say it's a bit unpopular. I prefer,
unpopular here.
I prefer being very objective. What the president is doing is actually the right thing. People need to pay taxes. There's no two way about it. What I feel, where I feel the government gets it wrong is how you want to enforce these taxes.
Okay.
That's where there's a disconnect. We do agree that taxes
Need to be paid.
And I'll use my own industry, my example in our own industry, for instance. I've always said, for instance, there's no way, there's no reason of charging a Prado 2 million, charging a Porsche Cayenne, now for the same year, Prado 2 million, Porsche Cayenne 1.6, Range Rover 2.5, Discovery 2.7. When you could just sit down with stakeholders in that industry, come up with a formula, standard formula, collect more revenue. The implementations are the problem, and the logic
behind what some of the policies.
Yes. Like, for instance, in the car industry, older cars in Kenya pay very little taxes. Brand new cars on the other side are taxed heavily. So when you look at it, it's very skewed. You understand? On the other side, you have Kama Kenya side today, if you brought a Lamborghini worth 40 million. KRA utumie that invoice value. KRA can even ask for 20 million. So
half the value of the car.
So nobody will ever bring that car.
Yeah.
But for instance, I've always advocated and said, why doesn't KRA just think and come up with a special tax category and say, look, if you bring any sports car,
luxury cars,
even create distinct categories. Say, tududu, kina Vitz, nini, duty, hatujali.
Hey, Kai, hiyo ni gari ya wenyewe unatukana.
No, tududu. If you have that kadudu, the duty is 200.
Yes.
Flat base. If you bring now just create those categories. If you bring a 2-seater car with their engine CC of above 3,000, that falls in the supercar category. Duty is going to be 3 million. You see, come up with very interesting ways of collecting revenue. Because kitu inafanya watu walikuwa kasirikia serikali sa even as a businessman is the way some of these policies are being put, number one.
The intention.
And the logic. Some of them have the ability to cripple industries. Like I've always again said with cars, their cars dealers stop bringing. You know, carriers never realize this, that the moment you increase taxes on a certain car to a certain threshold, people stop. So what we do, we look for another car that iko na loophole ya kuleta tax. So we bring it in and we try, as I say a loophole, but let me just say, since the system is so skewed, we look for those cars that KRA haijai target vizuri. And we try to sell those to the masses. Because you know, if we bring, but you see, if you had consulted taxpayers and told us, look,
a multi-sectorial approach
yes,
to it.
Call used car dealers. Let's have an open forum. Let's talk. And then we agree. So, hata kukikuwa na any issue, tutasemanga ni aje. We can't blame KRA. Ni sisi ndio tulikaa chini
na tuka-agree.
You understand?
So it has nothing to do with them.
So it has got nothing to do with them. But I'm still a firm believer that we actually need to pay taxes. Now, like there's no two way about it. Kenya actually ukiangalia the biggest issue inakuanga that GE mentality ukora, people will always try to dodge. Yeah. But again, I can't blame people. Why? Because it's also very painful as a taxpayer.
Pesa inaibiwa yote.
Let me tell you, one thing that really pained me as a young person, I saw a story about a certain county, again I can't mention, where it is alleged that the governor was conned of 200 million by a mistress.
Yes. We all saw it. We know. If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. And it was like, I felt so much.
Because you know that's not his money, Kairo.
No, yeah, really. Like, I felt, because we got like, sisi ni hao tunakimbizana na KRA. And me at times nahurumianga KRA. Because they're under so much pressure to collect money. But then again, you collect all this money.
Then there's a lot of pilferage. So one thing that the president should do, because you see, if I paid taxes, then you see, umelipa taxes on two barabara zinajengo left right center, unaenda you go to Mbagathi, you're told unajua bedhi kwa tatu zangi dawa huku ni kuja tibiwa nini weenda, like it even motivates you to pay more taxes. Ukiangalia places kama again US, people have that motivation ya kulipa tax because it's working for them, they can see.
But sasa huku okay, ufanye the right thing. Uone governor mwingine tena gather guy won't mention is buying property.
Yes.
Alleged that is buying property worth 2 billion.
The math is not mathing.
You're like, this guy earns $1 million. So it will take him 1,000 months to get to that
pay
level.
that money.
So you see, it just leaves a bad taste in the mouth of young taxpayers. Now it's one of the main reasons we have a hugely disenfranchised youth in the country because the youth feel that the leadership of this country, na wengi wao sana ni wazee, they're not even millennials. They are boomers wengi wao.
Walisema boomers ni gatekeepers na kina generation X.
Yes, hiyo generation X na boomers ndo wana run vitu huko juu and they're messing the country. So stealing all this money, but to what expense? Hii pesa ya county umeiba. How is it going to help you? Umebakisha 20 years hii dunia. You've stolen all this money.
Kairo, do you think they think like that? You see, that's the difference.
No, but me, there's one thing I always say. There's no way you're going to steal money meant for a poor woman who alienda OC and she had to lose a child because there was no medicine. Na uishi vizuri.
Mi usema wao watu kwanza they are just killers because if you make people die courtesy of you stealing money.
Yes.
You are a murderer.
You have the blood. So in terms of taxes, the president is doing the right thing. He's trying to get more people to pay tax. Country has to be self-sufficient. Good move. Where they get it wrong, implementation and not talking to people before you implement some of these policies. Lastly, it's painful to pay a lot of money in taxes and watch it get stolen.
Generational wealth.
Yeah.
Kai.
Yeah.
What do you think? Where do the Indians beat us? Because Indians can have a business going even for over 100 years.
Good.
Hii yetu kidogo Kai amefungua ameachia sani yake, daughter yake. The next thing, everything you built, gone.
No, because we don't train our children to you remember what you said about, let me tell you, you said something about masonry.
Yes.
You said something about masonry paying in foreign countries. Now, if you had a mason in Kenya, fundi.
Umesema labda tukisema mason mnaona ni kitu ingine tofauti.
Fundi. Wambao ama fundi or a tailor. Most of the tailors I know, because nili grow up Kawangware, wanted their children to go into white collar jobs.
Away from that business completely.
Yes. Okay. My own mother wanted me to go into employment. Like she, hata say Lisa, now you're doing flying. You want to get a job? And I was like,
Mother ashaona vile unaenda kwa pilot huko umeandikwa na KQ.
I'm like, because unajua mimi ni nani wewe? Hatuwezi muuliza kwa like,
yeah, in your head you're just like really
surely mom, like I'm doing all these businesses. Why but then I told her, look, I'll look for an internship somewhere, just,
which you have to.
I'll look for an internship somewhere. But that is not the goal for me, you understand? But I can't blame her.
That's what she's conditioned to know.
Yes. As my mom was a tailor at one point, and then became a shopkeeper. But mother hajaika chini akaniuliza, hii familia yetu ilikuwa na nyota ya nini? Ya biashara na ya tailoring. Why have you never thought of pursuing it? No. Mother knows ni aje, you need to go into the formal sector.
Away from this completely.
Yes.
So the Indians now, if you look at the inverse, is what?
Now the Indians, how Indians will do things. Indian, mzee can have a factory in industrial area that makes padlocks. Sawa? Let me tell you one thing. Mzee, hiyo factory, si yake, aliachiwa na grandfather, who was probably the first ama the great grandfather who was probably the first wale wenye walikuja kujenga.
Wa kwanza.
So unapatanga Indians will start a business, run it, leave to their children. And remember, at every given point, there's constant improvement in this business. So kama mzee alikuja Kenya kutengeneza chuma, walikuwa nagongana nyundo. Akiachia kijana wake, kijana ataenda UK achukue kalon, alete machine. Then maybe sasa hapo tuko in the 60s. Then kidogo in the 80s kijana mwingine aachiwe ama another son bado aachiwe. Wao sasa maybe aende ongeleshe other investors wafungue factory. So by the time tutafika present day, this company yenye ilianza kutengeneza nyundo, wakigonga chuma na nyundo, now they have an entire factory, now they make steel, now they manufacture a lot of things.
Umesema sasa amekuwa devki.
Sasa amekuwa devki. Kwa sababu walianza, you see, they start wako na those nini. Wazungu is the same thing. Look at all these Wazungu companies. Guinness.
Yes.
Guinness is a company from
1759 or 18.
There's this company that sells jewelry. It's called Swarovski.
Yeah, Swarovski
is a company that's over 100 years old.
Yes.
So, but you go to their beginnings, wanaanzanga kama cottage industries. So what has happened in Kenya is we don't appreciate those cottage industries. Na cottage industries ni nini? Do you know what are cottage industries in Kenya? Unaona mtu wa garage ako pale anapiga rangi kwa street.
Wale wa Kirinyaga Road wale.
Unaona those Kirinyaga Road guys? Let me tell you something. Those mechanics were deadly. Me, I'm telling you for a fact, those guys are good.
Of course I would believe you, Kai. You are in the car business.
Yes, those guys are good. Mimi, even my car, I don't take it to the high-end garages. I have one camber guy called Smith. He's been fixing all our cars for 4 years.
Ile gari ya black Kai nimeona hiyo.
Yendangi kwa dealership. It goes to that guy. But I'll tell you something. That guy can code my headlamps, can dismantle the engine, reassemble it. So I always pose a question. Imagine instead if we stopped focusing on big multinationals and we decided this money that we are getting, hata hii pesa sasa inaibiwa na mistresses, tupea to grants.
Like I said, he's the king of comebacks.
Yes. We give these small business people grants, 10 million, and tell them, look, you have to invest in equipment, you have to invest in technology. Or we say as a government, the government is going to start a program. We are going to go to 10 garages and we are going to pick out 5 mechanics randomly in every garage. And we are going to do a deal with Mercedes-Benz and do a partnership with Mercedes-Benz, our to end training huko. Or we go to Mercedes-Benz and we tell them, come set up a factory for make, not even cars, come make parts here.
Yeah.
Don't pay any taxes. But on one condition, if your workforce has to have 100 people, 90 must be Kenyans.
I would be part of that squad. Unajua mimi nahonga team Mercedes pale kwa F1.
Yes.
Anyway, I get you, Kai, and I appreciate. I am just hoping that in the next 2 governments, tunaweza pata watu kama wewe kama CS wa trade. It will be very important. Away from that, why cars? Why a car dealership? You could have done anything, like you said.
Yeah.
But why a car dealership?
I've always had a passion for cars. I mean, cars are nice.
Kuna zingine umeita dudu, so those ones can't be nice.
Apana, dudu, kusema dudu sini kunini. Like it's a small car.
I know.
Kadudu.
So why cars? So are you saying that there's something to be said about doing a business that you're passionate about?
Yeah.
Because when the rubber meets the road, you could have easily given up after what happened with your other business.
Yeah.
So what kept you going and why cars? Why did you come back to say, as much as ile ingine imeoga, I will still do the same thing?
No, because that's my passion. You have to be passionate about things. You need to find something that is your passion. Okay. And when you have something that is your passion, you're not guided by profits.
So money is not the motivation?
No, money is not my motivation, to be very honest.
Hey, only rich people say that.
No, money is not the motive. And funny thing, people will say rich people, but I think you don't even realize it when you become rich. People tell me, Kairo, you're rich. I'm like...
Kairo, what is rich to you?
For me nasemanga rich.
Wait, people here, let him. Sasa mtasikia kijibu kama rich person. What is rich to you?
I always tell people that I know I'm rich the day I buy a Gulfstream. A 650 to be very precise.
These are expensive problems.
But nowadays, I honestly don't believe I'm rich. That is something I keep on insisting. I don't believe I'm rich.
Kwani, Kairo, okay, apart from the G6.
Even in this country, they're people with money.
I know.
Heavy money.
But still, when young people look at you, they see, okay, at least wacha nifike mali Kairo amefika. So what is rich to you? To a G6 kwanza. G6 bwana.
No, okay, rich. Me think rich nile like, you make good money. The money works for you. You don't have to like...
In the answer, rich people moving on swiftly.
And the money works for you. Umechill, uko mali Jamaica kwa resort huko. Una pressure.
Why are you reminding me it is Monday and yani hata hakuna hope ya kufika tu hapa Diani?
No, because honestly, the money should not be the motivation.
I know that.
Because if you keep chasing money, honestly, utaend up
na itoshangi.
Haitaitosha and it will corrupt you.
Okay.
Me, I feel my motivation for me, kama sahi at Kai and Karo. A lot of people think Kairo is just selling cars. They don't realize that what we're doing at kaiandkaro.com is creating a platform. So sahi hata nikaambiwa na accountant, you made a loss of 1 million. I'll just find a way to plug that hole. But he knew me, like, it doesn't. Because I'm like, for me, the bigger picture. I know when you pay, because the bigger picture for me, skundaka chini niseme, this website has 10 million users in 10 African countries. And it's helping so many people sell and dispose of their cars in a safe and friendly way. I'll be a very happy man. But in the process of solving that problem, turns out you're now worth 1 billion, 10 billion.
Amen, Kairo. Yeah. Amen. Are you expanding to other African countries? That is one. Two.
Yes.
Are you expanding your business? Because now, like in your introduction, you talked about JETMAN.
Yeah.
So apart from the car dealership, which is Kai and Kairo, you are going to the aviation industry.
Yes.
And do you see yourself now physically, apart from the online platform, physically branching out to other countries?
Yeah. For both companies, there's the vision to expand to other countries. Okay. Yeah. And same thing, even with aviation, I'm driven by passion. I'm not going into aviation to make $1 million tomorrow or make to X amount of money every month. I'm going into aviation because I love being around planes. I think the greatest win for me, and one thing that will put a lot of satisfaction to my heart, is just waking up and passing through my hangars and seeing plane 1, plane 2, plane 3. Listen.
I am inspired even just sitting here.
Si ndege za nini, si ati ndege like ati India kwenda Mande, sherehe, no. Hata kama is just a fleet. I know that, we need to fly a mission to Lagos. We have these aircraft. We can take you if you want to go to Japan. We have these aircraft. If you want to go to the Mara, we also have these other plane. So that is the vision at JETMAN. And not just that, we have a very big platform that is coming soon that will kind of be like an aggregator. Going to have all operators, trying to put all operators on one platform.
Okay.
Bring new technology. There's a lot of new technology we're trying to work on. Like new ways of solving problems. Because I feel like the general aviation sector in Kenya is still very limited.
And very rigid also.
Yeah,
I think it's like a small club.
Yes, it's a small club. And there's a reason why aviation is rigid. It's mostly safety.
Yes.
So you can't take the rigidness out of aviation. It's very difficult. All around the world. What you can do, though, is you can introduce different ways of approaching things and solving problems using technology, which is what we're trying to do. And you see, and I believe that if we were to get more people doing general aviation, even the regulator will have no option but to adjust some of the rules, because I feel some of the regulations in Kenya can be a bit stiff. KCA does a good job. Kenya is one of the, I think Kenyan airspace is one of the safest, in my opinion, in Africa.
Okay.
But
Given
I think,
that you have experience with
yes,
it
yes,
also.
I feel like they do an excellent job. They're one of those government agencies that does not get enough credit. But I also feel like there are also some regulations in the KCA structure that could be a bit restrictive, that maybe make it a bit difficult for more people to go into the aviation industry.
Okay.
But I believe, again, if you generate so much hype in that industry and show people aware that you can fly more missions, sell the general idea to the general public. The government, in most cases, what the government does is that they try to, if you have sane people in that department, they'll ideally try to put in place policies to support you. Understand? Yeah.
Now, Kai, what do you see as your legacy? Who do you want to be known as, and most importantly, when we are not here, all of us, who do you want to be remembered as? Because I feel like everything you're doing, you're not just doing for now.
Yeah.
You are doing for posterity.
Yes.
So what do you want your legacy to be?
I want to go into history as a guy, first of all, who served as a testimony to what God can do. I feel like my current generation, I identify as a millennial.
No. We know which generation you belong to.
Yeah, no,
Baki tu, uko kwa Gen Z.
Me identify as a millennial, by the way.
Okay.
But what I believe is, I believe that we this generation, millennials actually, and also Gen Zs, it's lost in terms of spirituality,
family values.
So I want to go down in history as a guy who lived to the testament of what God does to a young person who trusts in him. I want people to look back and say, Kairo was very successful, not because he was very smart, but because he was so grounded in God and did things the right way.
Alipewa wisdom.
And he got to a certain point. Na hata wewe ukiishi ufuate Mungu, Kairo alikuwa anashinda akimba day in day out, you can get to that point. I think that will be my best legacy. It's not I don't know what the money has, how many houses. I don't care about that stuff. But if I can live to a point where young people, many years after I'm dead, will still say that you can make a lot of change in the world like Kairo did and Kairo always say that you should trust in God. Your connection to that trust in God.
That is it for you.
Yeah.
Kairo, do you read a lot? Because we see a lot of these CEOs, wanakuanga tu wametupea pressure huko. Sijui, I wake up at 5 to read. I do what? Okay.
Yeah.
Apart from the reading, what's your routine like? What's your day like, for example? A day in the life of Kairo. What would that look like?
It depends. I have days where I start the day very late, but I have days when I start early. Like today I started early at 6.
Because you had to be here. Thank you very much. He was on time.
Yeah, because I had to be here. So on such days I'll wake up at 6. Maybe in most cases I rarely go to the office in those hours. So if I'm starting at 6, hiyo ni kitu imefanya niamke mapema.
There has to be something very important.
But if it's just a typical day, I mostly sleep at 1 or 2 a.m.
So you are an
I'm a night person. But then I'll wake up at 8.
Okay.
7:30 or 8.
So do you like reading? Wacha hii yako ya kusomea CPL.
No, I enjoy reading. I read a lot.
Wow.
Yeah, but you won't find me reading books, but I try to read.
Like
I read a lot of
articles,
random things. I'll read government policies. I'll understand like conflicts, understand how the politics of random countries. Like I can just wake up and the brain tells you, just read about how Pakistani intelligence works. And then the same brain tells me, now go and read about how the Indians do their thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay. You pick out random stuff. But nowadays, because of technology, you can also scroll a lot on Instagram, and you learn a lot of things. Because now a lot of things are in visual.
Okay.
Again, back in the days, video, KBC and TV. But nowadays, there's so much people, what wanatengeneza so many clips, the knowledge. What is this? Is cheating? Challenge. You can actually scroll through Instagram or TikTok and get very good nuggets of knowledge. Yeah.
If you were to meet one person, dead or alive, to have a meeting, who would that be?
In Kenya, it's the president. I've always wanted to meet William Ruto.
Now, it is good you have answered like that, because my next question was, today, Kai, tumekuapisha, umekula Biblia. You are the president.
Yes.
Tell me what you would do. What would be your first 100 days like?
First 100 days? The worst crackdown on corruption you've ever seen. I'm telling you the worst.
Mheshimiwa, sioni kama utapata kura.
Mimi don't care. If Mimi one thing I normally say, that one thing I'll say, the worst mistake people will ever make in this country, if God puts me in that trajectory, because I'm going to crack down on corruption. That is something I would definitely do, because I feel the reason Kenya is not advancing the way it should is because we have allowed corruption to kill institutions. You see, countries don't fail because people go and tell people. Countries don't fail because sababu mtu atatoka hapa ende ambie polisi wote endeni home sifanye kazi. Countries don't fail because of that. Countries fail when institutions stop working or function the way they're not supposed to. I was reading about Haiti.
We've talked about Haiti on this show severally.
I was reading about Haiti. And I discovered that Haiti disbanded their army in 1997 or 1998. So apparently
lawlessness.
Yes, but if you try to dig deep, why was this army disbanded? It lacked professionalism. So from that point, now that the fact that they don't have an army, the country became a hotbed.
Ungovernable.
It becomes completely ungovernable. So the same thing with Kenya. All these cases you see, sijui shamba iko na title tatu, sijui someone grabbed what, sijui government agency X built a road wakacha boulders katikati ya barabara. It has got nothing to do with the profit. It has got nothing to do with the fact that these people are bad or these people. It has got everything to do that mindset here on your corruption. And it has got everything to do that people know that they can get their way and do very illegal, very bad things because of corruption. So if I was to be president, first things first. Ni corruption.
Ni usafi.
Kwanza
ni kufagia.
Kwanza tusafishe. Then of course now try come up with a long-term framework. One thing, though I realize, and people don't know this, it's very difficult to do some of these things if you don't have the right support. Because again, what makes it very difficult for even Kenyan presidents to remember once the former president was even like he painted.
He doesn't know what to do.
He painted the picture of a helpless person.
Munataka nifanye nini?
And you will agree with him. You know why? Because even if you had a saint of a president, if you people elect a corrupt governor,
it's not helping.
If you people elect a corrupt MP, if you people elect a corrupt
you can't MCA, be on a boat and some people are poking holes.
Yes.
You will sink.
The president alone does not have the capacity to. So if I was to ever run for president, I think the long-term goal would first to be assemble a party of very straightforward people. And then maneuver this party to hold very critical positions in such a way that once you go there na tuanze kuvuruga. Because maybe I'd literally I'll pull a lot of things. Ukianza the moment umeanza kuvuruga, just make sure that you have a lot of foundation. Because from what I've read, most countries, most presidents that try to take that route either suffer coups or suffer votes of no confidence.
One-term president.
Or their presidencies are undermined from within. You have many people within intelligence,
you're sabotaged.
You're sabotaged. So for that not to happen, you need to ensure that once you go into these positions, you're going with, and that for you to get to that level, I think it takes a bit of time for even people to change their mindsets. Like the way I see people nowadays on Twitter, like hata mtu akikosea siku hizi atuangalie parties. Jiko notice hatuna ile tribalism mingi of late.
Do you know the 2022 elections changed the game, in my opinion? We started talking about what we are going to do for the people.
Yeah.
And that's why, for example, the current government popularized the hustler movement.
Yes.
So it was about bottom-up economy.
Yes,
so what
yes,
are we
yes.
going to do for the
Yeah,
people?
yeah.
In the same breath, Azimio also had their own. So this time it was not the tribalism per se,
Yeah.
and it is also the first time
Yeah.
we saw the sitting president, current, William, be able to campaign in Nyanza.
Yes.
And we saw Baba be able to campaign in Central.
Yeah.
So this time it was not the politics,
and
tribe.
And you actually have to give him some credit, because even appointing the current, general of the chief of armed forces,
Ogola.
and guys are Ogola, he's from Luo, and he's not going to get. And then the president goes ahead to appoint him. You have to give him credit.
Yeah.
I normally say that the government currently has a lot of shortcomings. Like you see this whole fertilizer scandal, they don't look good on the government, but you also have to give credit to some things very many things that William Ruto is trying to correct. So I feel maybe within 10, 15, 20 years, maybe we'll have a breed of voters who will be so fed up with corruption that they're willing to put people
They'd finally vote for Kairo as the president.
No, I'm not saying I'm running for president.
Now,
that is very theoretical.
It is good because we are on the tackle, and here we have to talk about small politics. So it is good you are sitting on that. Do you ever see yourself in politics? Because what happens, let me set the scene.
Yeah.
Businessmen, when they get to where you are,
Yes.
the next thing they want to do is to get into politics, because I think they feel like they're at a point of self-actualization.
Yeah.
And so they will get into politics, maybe deals zikuwe kubwa ama kupata zingine ama whatever it is. So do you ever see yourself running for office?
To be very honest,
hata kama ni MCA tu pale kwa mtaa yako kai, si lazima ikuwe president.
No, to be very honest, I feel politics is a very I've tried to create a very clean image of myself. Not even try to create, I've tried to live with a certain standard. And I have this opinion that if I go into politics, that it might actually, people will, you see the way people fight me, sahi, na unapigana, it was just your cause of a Twitter account and people just fight you, throw all sorts of things.
Umesema nothing much, just an X account.
Just an X account there, and just people just throwing you. You also have former competitors paying bloggers, all these things happening. And this is just business. So you can imagine the sort of stakes that are there when you try maybe run for governor.
Public office.
Yeah, it becomes very tricky. If I ever have to run for public office, the conviction must come from God. Me under my own conviction, there's no way I'm going to live my comfortable drama-free life.
Straight into the fire pit.
To go wrestle with pigs. I'm not going to do that. Yeah, but if I ever have to go into politics, God has to be the one driving me, and it will not be to get good deals or to get tenders. It will be to serve people and just to further the vision. What I want to say, alikuanga governor huku na alifanya job poa. There.
Which is the goal.
Yeah,
it's the ultimate goal.
Yeah.
I like the way you've talked about social media, and part of what you're known for is standing up to bullies and speaking your mind.
Yeah.
On whatever platform it is. So on two separate questions.
Yeah.
So how has social media worked for or against you in your business or in your personal life? I ask this because mostly of the cancel culture.
Yeah.
Nowadays, kitu tu kidogo umefanya, let us cancel Chep, let us cancel Kairo. You understand?
Yeah.
But you're able to speak your mind, but still maintain your social media visibility, and I'm sure it's working for your business. Yeah. So how do you balance that?
First things first, I honestly don't care what people think about my opinion. That is the rule number one. No, honestly, I don't care.
I love it.
I know, I don't care. I don't worship government. I'm not going to sit down and sing praises to government, to appeal to government. Neither will I attack the government consistently to get... I try to be very objective. That's what I've said. If the government is doing something right... You will give credit to it. This is a good move.
Okay.
If the government is getting something wrong, you guys are messing us up.
Yeah.
Second thing, if I feel that I have an opinion towards something, I will say it. Whether you want to make me trend for 5-10 days, I really don't care, honestly.
And it is funny how mostly it is your personal life that people are really, really interested about.
Yes.
I even saw the kind of buzz generated when we put the poster.
Yeah.
And I think guys just normally want to hear. So, uyu Kairo.
Yes.
I even saw the other day your relationship being attacked.
Yeah, people have to attack everything. But you see, at the end of the day, you need to show them. And this is something you can try even on social media. Initially, they will attack it, expecting you to conform. The more you sustain the narrative. Because they really don't hate you. They actually don't. If they really hated you, they'd block you. They will not have time to comment on your post.
Umesema when Elon Musk.
Yes.
Because Elon Musk operates the same way.
Yes. Ni ile kitabu ya 47 rules of the 47 rules of power.
48 laws of power.
48 laws of that basically
Robert Greene,
you can borrow a lot of concepts from that book. Makes a lot of sense when you're trying to assert yourself. So you need to assert yourself. Okay. To be respected as an opinion maker, you need to give all sorts of opinions, your own opinions, expecting both sides of backlash. Because once you try to conform with all their opinions, there's nothing separating you from them.
One and the same was up.
You're one and the same what's up. But the moment you say what you feel,
yourself apart.
You set yourself apart, and you have your own value system. It doesn't mean that you go causing unnecessary drama or insulting people or doing that. I'm just saying, like, if there's something that will require
you give your opinion.
Yeah, if there's something that will require you to give your input. Let's say on a matter of taxation, like you've asked me, I'm ready to give an unpopular.
And it's based on experience.
Yes, based on experience. Yeah. But you see, a lot of people, cancel culture simply works because we have a generation that believes that does not believe that people can have dissenting opinions. People believe that you need to agree. And we've seen this with a lot of movements, especially the LGBTQ movement, where you find that, look, you can try to criticize them and they're going to come after you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I criticize them already, but I'm just giving you an example that there's very little tolerance in this world that we live in. So you cannot have your own opinions. You can be termed as sexist, you can be termed as all sorts of names by giving contrary opinions. And I've had personally made videos even on Twitter and come against feminists, not even once, where I say that, like, where
careful.
Where you have a lot of men on social media who've actually fallen victim to such, where you give an opinion and it's blown out of proportion completely. But in my opinion, mimi nasemanga, first of all, I don't worship any corporate. Because what makes people control you is if they have leverage.
Exactly.
If people have leverage on you, they can control you.
And some string they can pull to ensure that
so unapata nakwambia Kairo bro
cheza chini.
Cheza chini. Then you ask nacheza chini nini? Bro unacheza chini kwa nini? You see, at the end of the day, look, I don't draw a salary from any corporate.
No.
Mimi utaniona company X nikipeleka
CV. What is right, what is wrong is wrong.
Mimi nafanyanga vitu venye nafanya. Second thing, I don't work for government, so there's no boss in government who's going to call me and ambie that I'm not financed by any politician or anybody. So mimi, I do things.
So it gives you the freedom,
yes,
and the bandwidth,
yes,
to talk about issues.
Yes, and it's also partly one of the reasons that I've gotten to where I've gotten, because even when everybody, even at Kenya ikasema we are going to oppose what he's doing, I will never stop. Because I know I only need one backing. There's only one person. I'm very careful not to offend.
I can guess that is God.
Yeah, that is only God. So utapata the times I'll want to, kuna time nataka kupasha mtu, but then another voice in my head will tell me, you within your rights kumwambia hivyo, but unaweza mwambia hivyo with self esteem yake and God will not be happy.
Umesema that's the only voice utasikia kikwambia cheza chini.
But then mimi voice ya Mungu tunasikiza.
Hiyo tu ndio itakwambia.
I do not listen to anybody else.
Kai, help us settle a debate. Who is important?
Yeah.
Customer or employee?
No, it's the customer.
Explain.
The customer is king. If you have no customers, the employee will not have a job.
But people say if your employees are disgruntled also, you will not have customers.
No, but here's the deal. If you of course have to strike a balance. Life is all about striking a balance. Just because the customer comes first does not mean you should ignore your employees. You need to strike a balance. That's what I try to do at KHALIFKAIRO.com and at JETMAN. Treat your employees right, give them good working conditions, and have the motivation to try better their income.
Okay.
On the other side, try show your clients that you're not predatory. You as jiko maenda mahali unapata umekewa kinotice. You're the client, but umekewa kinotice hapo. Mashuka zinatolewa saa 4 asubuhi.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Amuenda nini, do not.
Like very strong language.
Very strong language, and you're like,
it's very unnecessary.
It's very unnecessary. That drama, that tone is not right. So you try to strike a balance.
Okay.
Maintain good diplomacy of sorts with your clients. Treat them very well. And on the other side, listen to your staff. Give them freedom and show them that you have a genuine intention to better their income. Where most people get it wrong, employers and entrepreneurs, is they want to take advantage of people.
Okay.
take advantage of their staff. Mimi, I treat my staff as teammates. So we
You
have
see yourself as a team leader.
Yes. We have a bigger vision, and I always tell them in most staff meetings. I tell them watu wote walianza kampuni kama Google, Facebook, na the founders they made a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so I look at them and tell them, everybody who's in this room, if this company ever grows,
Needs to grow with the company.
We'll have to grow with the company. And I'll say, like, I want everybody here, Mr. Ikona mtu hapa akiendesha vehicle in a car X. I want everybody to drive very nice cars. I cannot be the only person driving a nice car. We all need to drive nice cars.
Yeah, yes.
But you know, there are bosses who feel
it's
intimidated.
only them that should benefit.
No. It's just a bad way of doing.
Do you have a mentor?
On at a personal level.
Personal and business also.
No, I don't have mentors at a personal level, but I borrow heavily. Globally, I borrow heavily from Elon Musk.
No wonder you.
Yeah.
But you speak the same language.
Yes. I borrow heavily from Elon's doctrine. Elon, I really admire the guy. Locally, I have someone I admire who's someone you don't expect, but I admire William Ruto. Because I think,
guys, I know we can get a sitting for Kairo and the president. So please, my people, I know you are watching. Fanyeni mambo.
No,
They need a sitting.
I'll tell you why I admire him. Politics aside.
Yeah. No, I get you.
Yeah, now just remove the politics aside, the policies and everything. But you have to admire one thing about the president. Mm-hmm. It takes insane grit and hard work. Mm-hmm. And insane faith in God to achieve what the guy has achieved. Becoming president at instance number 1 in an election where the whole system is stacked up against you. Mm. Honestly, I just looked at the guy and was like,
how did you do it?
And honestly, I that is something I really... Now this is apart from the politics. I'm just thinking now at a very personal level, you need to be very... The conviction.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people who have more money than him, who have way more better connections than him.
The experience also,
but did not get to where he got. So I at times look at him and I'm like, look, provided he doesn't, mess himself up with the people around him or maybe end up doing the wrong things. But I believe that there's a story every Kenyan can learn from him. That sort of determination, despite the humiliation, your kurushu, your political cold, na kuonyesho you nothing, only to go run against the same
being
system.
Blackballed from the politics.
Being blackballed and just being put on that corner. I still end up becoming president. Honestly, just look at it and I'm like, okay, this guy, I really admire his grit.
Okay. Yeah. So what inspires you? We are about to finish the boring questions. Najua mko karibu kunimaliza, but vumilieni. What inspires you?
My inspiration is, just I feel like God has given me a very huge undertaking. Mm-hmm. At this point, I don't know what it is. But I feel the fact that God works with me in every single place, in everything that I do, and where I go, that alone inspires me. Because everything I do, hata ikifail, because si kila kitu inawakingi. I always remind myself that you did not get here by your own strength. You got here this was by God's ordination, and this was by God's, God creating the way for you. So that for me is the biggest inspiration. The biggest fear in my life is actually losing that sort of favor that God has given me. So I'm always very careful to ensure that I don't lose sync with God. Yeah. So that has kept me grounded, and it also inspires me to try better my life.
Hey. Like I said, we aim to educate and be educated. So leo I hope mulikuwa muna take notes. Yeah. Anyway, so what's your favorite? Because you are a guy who travels a lot. Yeah. What's your favorite destination?
Jamaica. Top of the head. I love Jamaica. Yeah,
why?
Jamaica is nice.
When ni mrasta?
Mina napenda
reggae
sana. But Jamaica is like Kenya.
The weather, the people, the culture,
the culture, the cars, everything is like Kenya.
Have you been there?
Yeah. I went to Jamaica last year for around almost 2 weeks. And honestly, I felt sad leaving. In most places when I go, I'm always like, gari tafika airport sangapi.
Finally, I'm home.
Niende nirudi.
Unasikianga rubani.
Mimi nataka kwenda nyumbani. But Jamaica.
Madugu na madada.
Jamaica, I was looking outside the window and I was like,
do I have to
come back to this country? And I'll probably maybe even retire here. It's just I love the weather, I love the people, I love the culture.
The culture, the food.
Nice, the food, yeah.
Locally?
Favorite, a place where I really enjoy.
So are you a beach person or a bush person?
No, I like the beach sana.
Na sinaona siku hizi JETMAN mnaenda huko kwa bush.
No, even the Mara is nice, but I personally I wouldn't mind like a place like Diani. Jesus was in Rusinga, so loved it.
I saw.
Rusinga is very nice. Yeah, I like Rusinga Island Lodge. Make sure you check it out. Very nice place.
Itabidi nitafute mtu
ndio apeleke. Unajipeleka? Si lazima upeleke.
I will not enjoy the same way Kai.
No. End hapo.
Nimejipeleka mahali mingi sana for a difference.
Jet ski. Swim kidogo. Enjoy your own.
Maji imepita ya Karai ni wachi please. You know me and my Kale self.
Oh yeah.
Maji imepita ya Karai ni wachi.
Islands.
What would be your dream destination? Where have you not gone that you want to go? And why?
Interesting question.
Mimi niko na mbili. Niko na Japan. I know you've been to Japan.
Yeah, I've been to Japan, yeah.
And I want to go to Amalfi in Italy at the coast. So the Riviera.
Dream destination, but you've asked me that question and I've realized I honestly don't have a dream destination. But this year I need to go back to Jamaica and
longer this time.
Yeah, a week. But just like I can't go for too long. But I'm thinking of checking out South America. I've never been to South America. And Bali.
CEO. Is it travel zote umeenda ujaenda Bali? I would expect that would be your first destination.
I've never gone to Bali, but I've been to Malaysia, I've been to Singapore, I've been to Japan. Now 2 weeks ago I was in India, but I've never gone to Bali.
Niliona ulisema hizo vitu za green ni nini?
Vitu za
Thai curry.
Yeah, Thai curry. Really enjoy that food. In Kenya there's a nice Thai restaurant in Nairobi.
Yes, the Serena one. Serena Sarova.
The one in town.
Unaona James Gishuru?
Yes.
Ukipanda hivyo juu. Somewhere on your left, just before you get to the end of James Gishuru. Yeah, there's a nice, I think it's by Sarova. Yeah.
There's a nice Thai restaurant.
Yeah,
you
should try it.
Yeah.
Vile umeniambia niende Takawiri, hata wewe enda huko. Upeleke mtu huko.
Si Takawiri. Nimekwambia enda
Rusinga.
Yeah.
What?
But they're just the same area. Eh? You just have a speedboat you can drop by in Takawiri for lunch or Mfangano. But Rusinga is nice.
CEO, napenda vile kwani wewe mimi tax yenye nalipa wewe ulipi because the way you are saying these things.
Sasa tutangangana tu tunalipa. Hawezi kosa kulipa ushuru nchi.
Hapana, unajua difference ya mimi na wewe nikilipa ushuru ile kitu imebaki ni kidogo. Haiwezi nifikisha Rusinga. Anyway, it was nice having you. And pole for your homa. So umefika wapi kwa maneno ya kukua rubani? Why did you want to become a pilot? Given that ulikuwa ushafungua biashara, it is doing well. Why?
No, first things first, I'm actually an adrenaline junkie.
I know that because you also love firearms.
Yeah, firearms.
You will talk about that. Yeah, so why?
So first things first, growing up I wanted to be a pilot.
Really?
Yeah, from a very early age. Nakumbuka nilipeleka ngo Wilson nikiwa 2001.
Usiniambie mlienda tu ya shule.
Tulienda tu shule. And I honestly just left an impression. Okay. And then there's this song by this guy. It's called Tango Jama. I'm forgetting them. Siamini, I think TID. You know that song.
Oh yeah, the video. Yes.
The video came out in 2002, 2003. Roughly uko. And I remember like there's a part in the video that TID is flying a plane. And then,
are you serious?
Yeah, I swear. And then he's taking a chick to some place. Stika ni Zanzibar man wapi.
Kairo, you are living the dream because those are the things you're doing currently. You are living the dream, my brother.
And I was like, no, bro, I need to try this stuff. So it actually...
It left an impression on you.
Yeah, but I always wanted to fly. And until place nilifika nikarealize, but then napenda biashara. I was still like, I still have to find something that complements my love of flying. So I'm almost done with my I did my first license. So I'm already a pilot. I hold a private pilot's license.
A PPL.
I hold a PPL. Which still allows you to fly a lot of planes and fly yourself. But now I've been working on getting CPL. My commercial, my CPL. Yeah. So I'm almost done with the CPL. God willing, by the end of the month, Q2 itakuwa imebaki ni the final checkout. So I'm just praying.
Please, English, please. Final checkout sasa ni nini?
Oh, sorry.
See you, please.
The final, so to get the CPL, you first need to get 200 hours. Which I'm almost getting there.
So how often do you fly? For you
almost
to get
now I fly every day.
But Kai, it's very expensive because we can easily just be here telling people how I'm doing this nini. But the cost implications tell us as someone
No,
who's there.
but the flights could where I fly. Flight Star, it's at Wilson.
Yeah.
They have lipa mdogo.
But lipa mdogo of how much? It could be 10 million. Nitamaliza lini?
No, it's not expensive. No, it's total cost is like 5 million for the entire cost.
Oh, so when you spread out.
Okay, spread out pole because I've been flying since 2021. So sini pole too.
Mm-hmm. So the 5 million is inclusive of your CPL.
Is inclusive of the CPL. Flying gets very expensive when you start doing the add-ons. Now the Maltese and the
Maltese.
Not the Maltese. The specific aircraft ratings. Like you could say, I'm a commercial pilot.
I'm certified.
But now I want nataka kujua kufly kurusha Boeing ya KQ. Now you have to go to another school for that. So if you but now that cost, and it could be very short at only 1 month, 2 months, you spend another 3 million on that. But then again, it pays very well. If you get one of those good ratings, it can pay. Those pilots are paid well. So ni pesa itarudi tu. But then for me, I felt like I needed to learn how to fly, number one, as a passion. Forget about the money aspect. And then the second thing is now the business aspect of it.
Passion of 5 million Kenya shillings.
Yeah.
Hey,
but I see guys doing rally. The rally is also very expensive.
I know.
I see people doing a polo. I have this friend who plays polo, and he used to tell me. He told me like, you use I think over 5 horses for a polo match.
But you know how much a horse is.
Yes.
Very expensive.
Yes, and it's like it takes 2 years to learn to ride a horse properly for polo. And I once went to his events, and you see guys flying in for the event. Ndege zimepakiwa.
Yeah, uko na nyuki timao.
Uko na nyuki timao. Ama pa balo hapa. You're like, bro. Whoa.
Hapo ndo unaendanga unasema, now this is it. Now this is the money.
Unaenda kwa hata Roy na
you are humbled. You're humbled.
Nena kumotivate because uko like, bro, you need to work hard. So that's what unasikia mtu anakuambia you're rich. Uko like, unaniambia nini? Unapopatana na watu wako na pesa hii nchi.
Huko nje watu wako na pesa.
People have money.
I know. Yeah. Like I told you, I'm an ardent follower of Formula 1 and I see the kind of money that is invested in such sports.
So there's a lot of money. So for me, the goal has always been, where do we get to a point where KARO is sponsoring Formula 1? Or KARO is doing a sponsorship on a top rally driver in Kenya.
Correct.
Yeah.
This year I said I'm going to Abu Dhabi. Lazima niende nione Formula 1 in December.
Naona sasa ukienda hivyo inakumotivate. Jipata hapo unakuja hapo unasema sasa ndio nafanya episode 10. Juu umeenda huko umeona I need to put more effort.
Yeah. Like
and then it also puts you level. Utake the same nini.
You said exposure is what we lack as Kenyans because we go out there and even the countries I have visited personally. Yeah. And you come back and you're just like, where? Anyway, we need to do more. Our sense of entitlement sometimes can get...
Alafu naona pia the Kenyan success story. What our parents taught us.
Yeah.
Jenga. Tafuta field yako baridi. Bro, you're just okay.
So did you follow that path? Ama, how has your path been?
No.
In terms of your social life. Do you have a social life? Kwanza tuanzie hapo.
No, I have a girlfriend.
Nimeuliza, do you have a social life? Tutafika kwa girlfriend.
No, my girlfriend is my only social life nowadays.
Correct. More men, please visit uko kwa online anaitwa KHALIF KAIRO. Get lessons from there, please.
But there are a couple of social things I do. I never miss church on Sundays.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Where do you go to church?
It's called God's Grace Ministries. It's in Rongai. I never miss church. And the other thing I never miss, once in a while every week, start kwenda reggae.
Ala.
Either More Spice.
Ala.
Once.
He's a good friend. Yeah.
More Spice is a good guy. Squeezy Juesan lihamia Westi. I might go to K1, but ideally for me, my best reggae session is More Spice. Yeah. So sikosangi kwenda nini? Sikosangi kwenda reggae More Spice.
No wonder unapenda Jamaica.
No wonder napenda so sikosangi. So those are
that's what you do to that's what I do.
But catch me dead in concerts. I don't do
it's
concerts.
Too much work.
I'm not in any golf club. I'm not in any
these bougie things. No. But you love firearms.
I love firearms. Yeah, I love.
So you go to the range?
I go to the range. There's a nice range in Kenya, in Magadi. It's owned by a friend of mine. She's called Maureen. She runs it. Very nice place in Magadi. I'll actually introduce a tour to that range. go shoot guns.
I want to come for that too. I am also a firearms enthusiast.
Yes. Huko ni kufiti sana kichaka nini. So once in a while tuendanga you can go there shoot. But all these other times easy sijui, all these a lot of social things, you unapata hapo na maboys unapiga drinks.
So you're not a social butterfly. No. Do you drink though?
Very social drinker. Max I'll do is I don't get out, I'll probably have just a single of whiskey and one coke and water and let's go on.
Okay, I'm not laughing because I drink. I don't also. I'm a teetotaler, but the expectation is with someone who has that much money and a certain social status would imbibe a lot. Like you're saying, would have this boys club, you go and chill.
No. Go where? One thing life taught me is that keep your circle very, very, very clean. In the lead up to the loss of that company, which I cannot mention for legal reasons, I suffered so many betrayals along the way, and it left me to this day. I'm still traumatized.
Oh, in terms of
it really traumatized me because now I literally have zero friends. I have acquaintances. Same is ndapita hapa nikose tunaweza ndawizo once in a while niaje unaruka tukimaliza ka flight tuingie ka drink hapo, but I don't have any very close friends. Zero. In fact,
who do you talk to, Kai, when you're feeling pressured? You just like
when I'm feeling pressured, I'd rather talk to my pastor or my girlfriend or my mom. Those three.
Hey, again, I don't think they make them like this. Please. And then it will go tips kwa KHALIF KAIRO.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But I discovered that sharing a lot of information with people who think they're close to you, it never works.
So you don't have anyone at all? Like a fellow, maybe young person, fellow businessman, fellow...
No. Lone Ranger. Completely. And I like it that way.
Is that healthy, Kai?
No, it's very healthy for me. Because I realized... I'm not saying I don't have networks.
No, not the networks.
You understand? I have networks, I have acquaintances. But I don't have very close people to me. The only close I've resolved is maybe my girlfriend. Nati atakwambia, like, there are so many things I don't understand about him. There are so many things, like, sijui, he won't say. Atakwambia tulifanya nini? No, tumekuwa tukidate, now we've been talking for almost now a couple of months, maybe 8-10 months. Okay. But you see, the whole point is, like, I just try to keep a very thin circle. So once we get married, now you know now you become
it's
one.
For life.
Now that's for life. But what I learned is that having too many friends, because I'm very open. I was an open book.
So people took advantage of that.
I will disclose so many of my things with people, and when things went haywire, all those things were later used against me. And the fact that I'd exposed some of my weaknesses, people use them against me. And people use those things to define how they're going to judge you. and how they're going to perceive you. So that left me very traumatic. And as I've started going up, I basically isolated myself. And it has worked for me. I honestly sleep better.
I'm so peaceful. It's lonely at the top.
Yeah, mimi sidhani nimefika at the top. But even here on the hill,
Kairo, you need to learn how to take compliments.
No.
Yes, because you cannot undermine the work that you've done. You understand? When we are looking from outside in, we see the success and the success story. When we say, Baba, umefanya fiti, sema thanks, ni God. Usi lesson, because we have this thing with human beings. And I think because we try and make people feel comfortable. I know you're not for that.
Yeah.
But mtu akikwambia, leo, hii gari yako manzeni nimeona uko na machine fit nini. Just say thanks.
Yeah.
Unaona? Learn to take compliments because it is good for you. You have achieved it. You have earned it. You have earned it.
Yeah. I joke that much as a lot of things have changed in 2 years, even the furniture in my house has never changed. It's wild. Everybody expects me to. Everybody think maybe I'm this billionaire, maybe no. But I'm like, no, I'm just like, look, I'm a regular. So nimekuja peke yangu.
In fact, guys, when I told you this guy is humble, I was not saying it just because he's here. He is actually very humble. The first time we spoke, allow me to say this, he didn't know me, I didn't know him. I just got his number from whoever I got it from. I texted him. No, first I tried to call him. He didn't pick. He asked me to text. So I explained myself. And immediately he called me. And we set up this interview. It's just that he had exam, then he had to travel, then what have you. So he's a very humble man. So I understand also where you're coming from.
Yeah. So I think in my mind, for me, it's I'm just doing God's work, nafanya vitu zangu, and I don't worship all these nice things. Honestly, I don't. Sasa unaona sasa ukiniambia tukimbie pali tupande nduthi, provided pato na matope twende.
Umesema kaende sana. Umesema ile gari ya black tutaiacha.
Actually nimefungua Google Maps nikikam interview and I saw there was no traffic. Ningekuja na bike. I kid you not. So for me, you guys like, it's lonely at the top. Because I honestly, brain yangu bado has never read that. Because I still feel, from my perspective, that there's so much that I've not done and there's so many things that I need to sort out.
But I would like you to appreciate that, because you see, when we see that journey, it is also when someone says, congratulations, good job, there's something it does to you.
Okay.
And also when you ukisema hivyo thanks, you are accepting that you're there. Unaelewa? Usiwahi kataa.
Sawa, acha from your then I'll say from your mouth to
God's ears. Correct. Now we are in business. Business legit. So we're talking about what you do for fun. And so you said your favorite is reggae.
I enjoy going to reggae.
Do you ever hang out apart from going to reggae? Do you like long drives, given that you're a car person?
Yeah, I enjoy. I actually enjoy driving. I'll look for a destination. When I'm kwanza ile weekend yenye siko busy and drive. Yeah.
Guys, we CEO ni CEO very legit. He understands the issues as they should be. Yeah. But I appreciate your heading to our call today and making time to come and see us. Okay. And we will also not keep you here for too long, because we know that you have a busy schedule. Yeah. But we appreciate, and any other time, you feel like there's something more you want Kenyans to know, and the young generation. Because like I told you, the goal is to inspire. Yes. And to inspire right. To teach, but also to give real life lessons. Yeah. And we can only get real life lessons from real people like you. Having that conversation and pushing it to ensure that we push the real deal over these narratives, hizi vitu za wash. Kwanza umeitwa wash.
Mimi nimeitwa, but it actually got so bad at one point. I even highlighted
that affects your business, right?
Yeah, because I remember Juicy, a bank again that I won't mention, that we are setting up the JETMAN website. So for the website for the user experience to be nice, we need online payments. A cash out system where you can just come, swipe your credit card, book a jet. It's a very revolutionary product. But our payments provider was like, we talked to one bank and these guys say that you mentioned online too much and they are not comfortable working with you.
And the kind of things that now because you see, you can also be mentioned online, Cairo, but in positive things. So what these people are going to look for is the negativity.
But you see, it's funny because 10% of people will say negative things. So it really left. Honestly,
a bad taste in your mouth.
But the beautiful thing about it is, bank number 2, I was like, we actually really, come, kuja.
Anyway, there's a question that Polo Kimani.
Yeah.
I should ask you about Polo.
Polo, okay. Yes. We are supposed to have a wrestling match with him. In fact, we'd have it. It's only that I dislocated my finger. Nili dislocate nikiendesha bike.
Kai, are you sure?
Yeah, it's actually supposed nafaa kwenda ifanywe minor surgery because ijai rudi fiti. I was supposed to do it in India, but I got so caught up doing other things, I forgot to go to hospital and we checked.
How did you forget to go to hospital?
No, I honestly forgot. Nearly realized the last day. But then you have a finger that has not ijai pona. I had a bad fall with the bike in Rusinga. Not a bad fall, but it just left.
Did you recommend Rusinga recently?
Yeah. So what happened? My finger haijai rudi poa. Hata sasa nikikunja hivi.
You can't train?
No.
Pole.
So I talked to a doctor and told me, look, don't do anything that will worsen. That will strain it. I don't punch in it, itanini. So it was like, take some time, have it checked. Actually, and if I make time today, I look for the nearest clinic. Hata kama niingie nipigwe x-ray, nijue shida ni nini. Juu na feel ni kama iko off. Hata nikiangalia, it's not straight. It's actually crooked kidogo.
So there's actually a problem.
Yeah, there's actually a problem. But Polo is one of the many haters on X. On X, and I told him, look, now because you keep writing a lot of jabber stories about
umesema mouthing.
No, I'm not going to fight you in court. Honestly, kwanza me hate court cases and whatnot. Let's just settle it.
Tukutane kwa uwanja kama wanaume.
Kwa ring.
Kama wanaume.
Yes, tukutane kwa ring. And he was like, and honestly, we are going to have a ring
this
fight.
One I want to watch. Yes, I will be there.
Yes, we are going to have a ring fight. Hiki wacha ipone. Na inajua itachukua long. It's actually solemn hata sahi. Ikipona
it's on.
Kwa sahi itakuwa fit.
Had you been training before?
I'll train hata kama ni 1 week. Niku cancel tu schedule niseme ndakuwa nashinda kwa boxing nini 1 week. Boxing can't be too hard. Sinikujua tu a couple of moves. Kidogo.
Wewe usiseme can't be too hard alafu ukutane hapo na vitu jawahi.
But you see me like much as I don't go to gym.
Are you a sports person?
I ride motorbikes. Like the bike I ride, I have a Kawasaki. That thing is like 100 kgs.
Okay, apart from that, traditional sports, for example.
No, it's very exciting. But motocross is a sport. It's
you know your hobbies are very expensive. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Tunaongelea maneno ya ball. Do you watch football?
No.
Members, tumekwama. Your hobbies are very, very... They are not for the common person.
But
that's what I'm trying to say.
When I was in Kawangware, growing up,
yeah,
I used to play football very well.
What changed?
In fact, nilikuanga kwa soccer academy. Ilikuwa imesetwa up na Vapor. It's called Vapor. I played Vapor under 8, nilikuwa na under 10 na under 13 no under 12 na under 14 and up to under 14. Yeah, actually under 12 na under 14. I was playing football. Nilikuwa defender.
What happened?
I used to play football. I used to be a big football fan. I used to like to watch in Manchester enzi za kina Babatov, those old days. But then again, I just think
Kiburi FC ndio hawa.
I honestly cannot explain. But just hata nikiwa Dagoretti High School because I studied at
you were in ditches?
Yeah, ditches for like 1 year, then I transferred. Nilikuwa kwa reserve ya school team. The first year nikiwa form 1. Like I would go for practice nini. Then it got to a point sijui nini.
You just outgrew it. Yeah. Things just happen.
Yeah, things just happen.
Final question.
Yeah.
Before your closing remarks.
Yeah.
What's your net worth? Usijaribu sasa hapa kunipea stories za jaba. Can
I tell you something? Can do you know how?
Already, I am feeling like you don't answer this question.
No. The thing is, do you know, to get your net worth, you need to value your companies.
Yes.
Do you know I've never valued any of my companies?
Why not?
Because I've never been
Sorry.
The value ni kulangi kichwa. For me, the most important thing for now is just to ensure that the company is running properly. So siwezi jua net worth yangu because I've never valued any of the companies. I tell people that and they think I'm lying. I honestly do not know my net worth.
I think you need to know.
Sijui.
Because even when you're looking for investors,
yeah,
is in that part of the question.
Yes, you need to value a company.
Yeah.
But right now I'm not looking for investors. I'm looking
even for JETMAN.
What I'm looking for, investors, most of the time is that they have to come,
buy some shares.
Right now I'm not interested in selling stake in the companies, the two main companies.
Okay.
But what I'm interested in, I don't mind strategic partnerships in terms of now if this for somebody who's watching and has the money, I'm willing to partner with people in terms of debt, which can be secured using the assets we buy, and then you can use the assets to generate revenue. Yeah, especially for JETMAN. Okay. For JETMAN, the assets.
Because I know JETMAN will be a heavy investment.
Yeah, JETMAN will be heavy because we need to acquire aircraft. So I'm actually trying to look for guys who can help me. If you have an aircraft, bring it in. We can help you like.
CEO, I don't.
Okay. You can. Once we set things up, because that's Jamal's a setup.
Okay.
Once we set things up and we understand, we like have everything running, the systems running. We're going to talk to a lot of aircraft owners and operators, but mostly even owners, private owners, who feel like their planes are not getting the best exposure. So again, if you want to invest and you want to bring an aircraft and you want us to manage, that will be a product offering by JETMAN. And also, hata sisi wenyewe kuacquire, maybe if there's a company that needs to dispose of, they're willing to go into good lease to own agreements. Again, I'm willing to venture into that. Okay. But in terms of giving shareholding out of the company, that is not something I'm willing to do. For KARO, the same thing. They're very good, they're very viable business opportunities in KARO. Very good ones, very lucrative actually. But again, we'll structure them in mostly where we create agreements with potential investors where we collaborate, exclusive investment opportunities. We don't give out stake, but even if there's money that is lent to us, there's adequate security to protect that money. So not just taking investors' money and there's no good security in exchange for shares.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, do you ever see yourself venturing?
Yeah.
I know I said that was the last question, but
Yeah.
venturing out of the transport sector, because what you're doing is the transport, basically cars and air.
Yeah,
so do you diversify your investments and portfolio?
Yes. I will. I'll do a lot of things.
Okay.
Hata farming nitakufanya. It's just with time.
Fanya farming to inspire.
Yeah, no, I'll do. I've always been interested in. I actually like gardening. Nakuwa na kabalkoni kadogo hapo. Nakuwa nimeweka tu plants na tumwagilianga maji.
Kairo, if you kill plants, just know sukuma haziwezi survive.
I don't kill them, but I take care of them. Like I enjoy watching things grow.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you very much. What would be your parting shot? What do you want us? What do you want to see for this country that is one? But also, what would be your word? Or even just inspiration, given that we are beginning the week.
Yeah.
Umekuja hapa on a Monday. I know you are a blessing.
Yeah.
So unatuwacha na neno gani? Sorry. My guest is suffering a very horrible cold. Paul.
So number one, I always say is that be a good person and put your trust in God. There are so many things that have happened to me that people think that we are very smart, we know how to play our cards right. No. It's God who guides us. So seek God, the rest shall be added.
Because you could have easily given up.
Yes. But the fact that my faith in God was there, and God, God keeps on showing you new things, opening new doors for you. It keeps us going. Business is very difficult. Not in Kenya, not all around the world. You need to have very strong faith. For me, I put the faith in God. That's number one. Number two, don't take shortcuts. Do the right thing. Always strive to do the right thing. And lastly, but not least, in terms of mentions about the future of this country, I just feel that the current breed of politicians owes us a lot, and they will get a curse if they don't guide this generation adequately.
You owe it to them.
Yeah, because they're the ones controlling, and when we see all these stories of money getting stolen, of money getting looted, it leaves a very bad taste in the mouths of young people, young businessmen, and it makes a lot of people lose hope in this country. So my appeal is to the president, to put adequate measures to tackle corruption. Not just talk about it, but just, let's see actions. Let's see people going to jail. Let's see
heads roll.
Yeah, let's see heads roll. We are actually counting on him.
The buck stops with him.
Yeah, the bucks, we are counting on him. And he should empower the requisite agencies to be able to do their work, because corruption is something that is going to kill this country. Kenya has a lot of potential. You see a lot of all these investors coming in. But all these investments will amount to nothing if we cannot control corruption. And that insatiable greed for quick wealth that a lot of the politicians have.
Get rich quick schemes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So that was Mr. KHALIF KAIRO.
Yeah.
And by the way, KHALIF, where did the name KHALIF come from?
It's a nickname from my school that stuck.
Yeah. Okay.
Real name is Joseph Kairo.
Yeah.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have that look.
Yeah.
You can easily get away with it.
Yes.
Anyway, as usual, kindly I would ask you to go to our for your podcast needs. Kindly go to our Instagram, that is Podcast Planet, where you can check out podcast recordings, live streaming, voiceover, shooting ads. Na mwende mununue huko kwa KAIRO, please. Msinunue
KAIRO.com. Safest way to import, buy or sell a KAIRO.
Hata dudu mununue tu.
Hata dudu. Mimi kwanza napenda tu dudu.
Umesema efficiency na hii price ya mafuta.
Unaingia nako kila mahali. Loki hakuna mtu anajua nani. No, they're nice cars, but
no, they are.
They're good. Music that dudu
because
they're small, but they're good cars.
All right. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in, for sharing, liking, commenting, and having an interaction with us on our social media pages. I implore on you to kindly like those pages, YouTube and Facebook, that is New Day TV. And thank you for being here and tuning in today. See you tomorrow, same place, same time. But kesho tunaongea maneno ya state of the nation. And my guests tomorrow are two lovely women. We will be discussing the gender report in-depthly. So thank you so much. Have a good day and have a blessed week ahead.